Warm welcome to the second episode of the Inner Office. Sometimes the loudest struggles at work are the ones we never speak about. Now, Inner Office is the first of its kind podcast fusing Indian spiritual text with contemporary organization psychology and leadership theory. Great to have you, Sanjiv, back. We were having you, posted you over the trio last time. Uh, Very warm welcome to you, and thanks for taking time for coming again, Sanjiv.
Thank you, Ravi. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you. Sanjiv is the head HR Southeast Asia Swiss Re, based out of Singapore. And prior to that, I think he's worked over 16 years at HSBC. Now, interestingly, the original credits of the Inner Office should go to Sanjiv because a month ago, over a 45-minute call, he impressed on me to take a shot at the series with a warning. That's typical Sanjiv, that this should not be a one-off episode as such. So, Sanjiv, I'll try my best.
In a career span, Ravi, and I've worked for long years. There were years where I have had promotions slip through, which I thought I had it, or increases which I thought I should get and I didn't get. I've also had conversations with my bosses where I've said, you're giving me too much. I don't think I deserve it. Right? The beauty of this is when I start to have a conversation with the boss and say, look, so I'll give you one story. Maybe that's an easier way to explain it. So long time ago, I used to work with the boss, and we used to have a rating scale, a performance management rating scale. And we would have a performance conversation at the end of the year. And rating scale, I think 1 was the highest and 5 was the lowest rating, right? Or something like that. So my boss was saying, I think you are somewhere between 3 and 2. And I was arguing with him, I think I'm somewhere between 4 and below. And we had a 1.5 hour conversation. So I was saying I'm worse than he was saying I was. And he was convincing me I'm better than I am. And I was telling him, no, actually, but you know what? This is not because of me. This was despite of me being there, right? So everybody else was doing the job. My team was doing the job. I actually didn't play a role in the success. And he was trying to tell me that, but you are being there also helped. Okay. So the reason I'm telling you the story is, it took away the load from my head. I wasn't stressed in that conversation. I was myself. I wasn't aiming for, I will get a 2% or a 5% or a 7% or an 8% kind of a change. None of that stuff. Because if I'm happy to work for that money today, then tomorrow if it goes up, I will be disappointed it didn't go up as much as somebody else's, right? Maybe. But if I don't bring that into equation, I will be okay. If that money is not enough for me, I'll go look outside for the money. But why take that stress that, okay, I will convince my boss somehow that, I was better than, therefore you should give me this. The other thing that happens is, most of the times I've seen, it's not about how much I got. It's about, did I get less than the next person in my team? Right? That becomes a bigger problem than how much I got.
Yeah.
Correct?
Absolutely.
But we are basically being our own challengers in that. I am different, that person is different. Maybe that person is lucky, maybe that person has I don't know, but doesn't matter. I can't change that decision. Right? But I'm stressing myself for something that is beyond my control. And that, in my view, is something that we don't look at, and goes back to your original question about mental well-being. We don't prioritize mental well-being. If somebody sits down and looks at the amount of increase that they're getting in absolute terms, how many thousand rupees they're going to get more per month versus the stress they're taking for losing it, I don't think anybody will make that equation work. So sometimes it's in my experience, we sometimes get too entangled into the outcomes. Famously, our scriptures say, right, that karmanyavadhikaraste ma apneshu padacha. And I honestly feel that there is value in that. So my experience, right?
I really loved spending time with you, Sanjeev. Love to spend more time with you. That
You're very kind.
So 6 questions, I think we could manage this time, and I think I'll
Sorry about that. I think
down the lane. So Sanjeev, just to give a quick summary, I think we looked at questions around the pressure to be always available in the always on culture. We looked at mental health struggles, navigating office politics without losing integrity, career stagnation, challenge of remote leadership will actually come next. But the fear of being replaced by automation is another aspect or the theme that we covered. Sanjeev, thanks a lot for your time. I think people are going to love this episode without question. I'm going to come up with a lot of teasers spread across maybe a month and a half. Because I personally feel that a lot of people, especially the youngsters getting into the corporates, would actually benefit a lot with your advice, Sanjeev. Thanks a lot for your time. Until we meet again. Yeah, you were saying something.
No, I was just going to say thank you. I think you're doing a good one. This is useful, like you said, especially people who are joining the workforce or are new in the workforce or still building their career up. These questions are relevant. These questions exist, but we don't have enough conversation around it. So there isn't enough solutioning that we see around these things, right? So I really think this is a great way of having those conversations. I hope we continue to have these conversations more openly across, more widely, so that people don't struggle with some of these things. And like you said, if you and me, we had understood what we understood many years later in our career, maybe we would have had an easier journey or a more enjoyable journey, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Ravi.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to your Hyderabad trip. I don't know when you're going to plan, but yeah, 3 of us are waiting.
Yeah, I have to. I think that lunch has to happen now.
Thanks a lot, Sanjeev.
Yeah, take care, man. Bye.